Alright, what is up guys, Nate4 here and welcome back to yet another movie review, and today we're going to be talking about Dragon Ball Super Superhero. Yes, there's two supers in the title of this movie. um, but yeah, we're going to be talking about it. I've been waiting and anticipating this movie for about a year now, so I'm going to let you guys know, did this movie exceed my expectations? Was I disappointed? Did it, satisfy me? Did I dislike it? The good, the bad, and we're going to do the typical fashion, once it gets to the halfway point, that's when we're going to get the indicator for spoiler territory. So if you don't want to hear that, I'll give you the indicator to leave and then come back after you watch the movie. But yeah, pretty much I'm going to get started with it because I don't want this video to drag on. Get it? Dragon Ball? No. I thought it was funny. But yeah, let's just hop straight into it, huh? Honestly, I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I think this is a movie that I liked, but I didn't love. I think it's good, but I don't think it's great. I did enjoy it for the most part. I am going to tell you guys my problems with this movie. But for the most part, if you're a Dragon Ball fan, I'd say watch it. It's a good, lighthearted watch. Has some pretty good action sequences, some pretty good slice of life moments, and to be fair, I should have expected it because they did literally announce that this would be more of a slice of life kind of movie. So the action kind of takes a step back. So if you're someone who just loves Dragon Ball because of the action and things like that, then I don't know. This probably isn't the best movie for you, but for the action that's there, it's pretty serviceable. It's pretty good. I don't think I know. I didn't like this movie as much as Dragon Ball Super Broly. And honestly, it's one of the better Dragon Ball movies. I think it's up there with the better ones. And it's not a bad movie, but it didn't really blow my mind. It didn't really exceed my expectations. I was satisfied though, but I think they could have done a little bit more. It has that typical Dragon Ball humor, so if you like the Dragon Ball humor, you'll like this movie's humor, but if you don't, then it's just like, eh. But this movie, it has some really good things, and then it has some things that bother me. Nothing too significant, but just some minor nitpicks if I'm being honest, and I'm going to talk about those things pretty soon. But some of the things I did like about this movie was I really liked the art style that they used. Like they used this like new CGI 3D kind of art style thing, and a lot of people weren't too sure about it because when the movie like first dropped, it was like just a promotional video. So we're like, oh, is that how the movie's gonna look, or is it just for the promotion? And I'll be honest, Dragon Ball doesn't have a good track record when it comes to using like CGI and special effects like 3D digital and stuff like that. And they did it like the three previous movies, like Battle of Gods, Resurrection F, and Broly, but for like minor scenes, and it didn't look great. So I'm proud to say that this movie is an exception. It looks good. It didn't bother me. So it was a welcomed addition. I don't think it's something I'd want to necessarily stay, but I think it was a good change of pace. And another thing I enjoyed about this movie was I'm glad that it's not just another Goku movie. It's not another story centered around Goku. Him and Vegeta pretty much take the back seat in this one, which isn't much of a spoiler, if anything. It's literally in the advertisement. All the trailers, all the ads. It's publicly known that this is more of a Piccolo and Gohan kind of story, which I'm not too mad at. We get introduced to some new characters. Some I enjoyed, some I did not. Like the two that you see on the screen. I hope where I am on the screen is good. I wanted to try to get all the characters. But yeah, we get Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. I really liked them. I thought there were some cool additions to not even just the movie, but the series in general. So I really like that. I guess I can start the spoiler territory here. I don't really know how to talk about the negatives about this movie without spoiling it, so this is your indication to leave. If you don't want the movie spoiled for you, if you want to come back and finish the video, you can. But we're about to get into it, man. So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I do have some negatives for this movie, unfortunately. This doesn't, as much as they advertise Gohan in this movie, it seems very much like a Piccolo movie. Like Gohan, he's in it, but he's not as much in it as you think he would be. Um, and that kind of sucks because Gohan, one of my favorites. So I would have liked to see a little bit more of him. He definitely gets a lot of screen time towards like the ending and the third act and stuff like that. But I would have just liked to see him do a little bit more. And another thing with his character is they kind of made him seem like very like goofy, like Yamcha or Krillin at points in this movie, and that didn't really rub me the right way. And I get it, like it's Dragon Ball. Every character has their goofy, silly moments. Even Gohan, especially like in the earlier parts of the Buu saga and stuff like that. But in this one, he just seemed kind of like I don't want to say annoying, but it was like it bothered me. Like he's not this goofy person. And I don't like the people. This one's it's not a dislike for the movie, but just for the community. The people who dislike Gohan because they don't like him his normal like human side. Like, why is him being smart and being educated and trying to be a family man so frowned upon, bro? like why do people not like that? I mean, I get like you want Gohan to be great again and stuff like that, but he can be smart and be a family man as well. Why is that such a negative thing? And this movie has some inconsistencies. Like back in the day when Krillin threw a Destructo Disc at Cell, he did no damage. Cell didn't move. He didn't flinch. He was completely unfazed. And in this movie, they emphasize that the new Cell Max is much stronger than the previous Cell. But then Krillin throws a Destructo Disc at his head and it does damage to him. So that didn't really make a lot of sense to me. And it's like they don't know what they're doing with the Gohan character, because it's like in one movie, like Resurrection F per se, he's like, oh man, I have to become stronger so nothing like this ever happens again, because he was so weak and stuff like that. And then in the Tournament of Power, he's like, oh yeah, I gotta become stronger so I can protect my loved ones and everyone my family, stuff like that. And then in this movie, he's like, oh, it's fine. Father and, Dad and Vegeta has it. It's okay. It's like, it's inconsistent to his character, so I don't really know what they're doing. Another negative is they really want you to believe that these androids, cyborgs, whatever you want to call them, robots, are on par with God level people, and it seems a little far fetched. And I wasn't too fond of Cell Max all that much, just because the original Cell was so great, the voice acting, the design, his character, personality, and they got like it's pretty much the equivalent to what they did with Bio Broly, where the original Broly was cool, and then they had like the DNA cells of Broly, and then they tried to make like a monster out of him, and that one's often considered as one of the worst Dragon Ball movies, so I don't know why they decided to go with that again. And it's literally the same characters and everything, like Krillin comes, Goten, Trunks, Android 18, and it's literally the same thing. And those characters that I just named, they serve a very small, minor role in this movie, and it seemed very unnecessary, at least from an action standpoint, but for comedic purposes, I guess it's fine. It works. But like I said, I didn't like it as much as Dragon Ball Super Broly, and I know it sounds like I'm just tearing this movie a new one, and I'm not. Like I said, I liked it. I didn't love it. It has its problems that are very noticeable, but it's still a good watch. Like I said, I do think it's one of the better Dragon Ball movies. I don't think it's as good as Broly or Wrath of the Dragon or Fusion Reborn, but I think it's like in the rankings of like BoJack Unbound, Tree of Might, somewhere around that range. But I don't know. And I wanted this movie to be better. And that's another thing, is I feel like this movie just wasn't advertised enough, man. Like I remember like a few months ago, I feel like they just weren't releasing any updates on this movie, like any type of information. This movie was like completely forgot about for like a long period of time. And literally, I went to see this movie in IMAX, which should seat well over 300 people. But when I saw it, it was on a Friday, like 4 o'clock or so. I don't know if timing affected it, but there were literally like maybe 10 of us in that entire theater. So I don't know, man. There's something wrong here. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's a good movie, not a great movie. It has some cool flashback scenes from like the earlier days in Dragon Ball, in the Cell Saga. Some characters that aren't present in the movie, you get to see them via flashback. So I thought that was kind of cool. Um, but I don't know. Like I said, this is a good movie, not a great movie. And if I had to rate it, I guess I'd have to give it like a 7 out of 10. So, I'm satisfied. I'm not really disappointed. Just expected a little bit more. But I'm in it for, and I'm out. Peace.